Hi everybody, this is Alchemist 2, and I'm back again with another book review. I just read Yes Please by Amy Poehler, and I love Amy Poehler. I've never watched Parks and Rec, which I probably should watch Parks and Rec because it takes place in Indiana. Yeah, I'm thinking that I should because I'm probably sure that I would enjoy it. I tried watching The Middle. And I didn't really care for the middle all that much, as I just felt like it wasn't a good enough interpretation of the Midwest. One show I think that really portrays the Midwest exceptionally well is Stranger Things, but yeah, that's just me. But yeah, I definitely need to check out Parks and Rec. I'm certain that I would absolutely love it. But I don't have Netflix right now. I have to start a new Facebook, just because of some things that some things that occurred. It's a new beginning. 2018 is going to be the start of just a rebirth. This is so funny. Her prologue is hysterical. Instructions how to use this book. This book is a missive from the middle. It's a street-level view of my life so far. It's an attempt to speak to that feeling of being young and old at the same time. Amen. Actually, I'm not old. I'm all young all the way around. I can't change the fact that I'm a American white woman who grew up in the lower middle class and had children after spending most of her life acting and doing comedy. So if you hate any of those buzzwords, you might want to bail now. Yeah, I can relate. Or it's not to the children part, but I'm hoping that I can have a family fairly soon. Because I am 38, you know. But her haiku on Botox is just gut-wrenchingly funny. It's just so comedic. I love the part with, she's with Hillary Clinton. She looks just like her. And, of course, she did Sarah Palin to a T. And she mentioned that Tina Fey was her wife. And she talks about her children and when she went to labor. That part just cracked me up. And she talked about SNL when it was actually good. SNL's not great anymore. Humping Justin Timberlake. This book is so good. I absolutely loved it. It's just, I'm hoping I get a chance to actually meet her because she's one of my role models amongst many comedians. I'm nothing like her. I highly doubt that I would ever become a comedian because it's just, you've got to be a special person. There's the Upright Citizens Brigade. I remember that. I loved that. That was brilliant. That was probably one of the better sketch things that they did. And she talks about how Parks and Rec came to be and how it is sort of like with Big Bang Theory. It's sort of like they think that the show's coming to an end by the end of a season, but then they get renewed. And how long has that been going on? Because I've known of Parks and Rec, but I'm not really into it just yet. I'm thinking that like with Community. When I got into Community, at first I was really gung-ho about it, and then I lost interest because I thought, it's too bawdy, it's too kind of raunchy, and I didn't care for it. There were some episodes that were too kind of sophomore, asinine. But I got back into it, and I realized how brilliant it really was, and I'm still a fan, especially of the, what was it? Professor Time, or wait, no, it's he's a parody of Doctor Who. It's Inspector Time or something. Inspector Time, something or other. I can't remember his exact name. Anyhow. She talks about her life. She talks about her experiences, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And the story about the chapter about her turning 40 was relatable too. I'm going to go ahead and read a little bit from it. It's woefully short, by the way. Once a woman turns 40, she has to start dealing with two things: younger men telling her that they are proud of her, and older men letting her know they would like to have sex with her. I've had a lot of that. I've been having it my whole life because I look like I'm 16. Moving on. Yeah, she talks about a lot of different vignettes of her career. Calling people sweetheart makes most people enraged. She has little blurbs in the middle of the separate her chapters. She has one just teeny tiny blurb that says a little bit more space. Yes, please. And she talks about how being polite was the thing that she learned when she was really little, and she maintained that kind of etiquette up into her young adulthood, which she was actually very glad that she was raised in that way. I liked the photos in the book. I thought that the photos were just outstanding, and it's just a very enjoyable book, and I like the fact that the cover's very pleasing in and of itself. It's got this aesthetic to it. I like the colors that she used and the type font, and the fact that it looks like she's on stage. And I thought that was really neat. And it looks like a neon sign, and it's metallic. And she did a good job in choosing what colors that would, pop out. And I need to learn this myself because I want to sell a book at some point in time. Yeah, I need a publisher, but at some point in time I will get myself published. I don't intend to make a ton of money off of anything I sell just yet. I'm going to be one of those people, I'm going to be like Kurt Vonnegut, and then people figure out who I am. They're like, oh, ooh, they get really excited and want my autograph and all that crazy stuff. But it'll be, a lot of things that I do will be done for other people to make themselves better in the future. I'm not sure how I'm going to do this because I have no business savvy whatsoever. But beyond that, I'm home from North Carolina. It was kind of bittersweet because if you've been watching my channel, you know the story and you know it very well. I'm not ashamed of talking about this. Yeah, the pain is still going to be there. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. It is what it is, basically. I don't handle it in a flip way. I acknowledge it when it comes, and I cry when I'm not around other people, so I don't hear. Only with people I really trust, I can let myself go, and just they can see how soft I really am. I mean, I'm tough, but I'm also very tender. I'm a water sign. What are you gonna do? This is the way I am. There's nothing wrong with that. Having emotions actually helps us heal and become stronger. But it was just it was difficult for me still. I had to on Christmas Eve. I went to my cousin's house. Not her house, but her other relative's house, and I got to meet the rest of the family and it was really loud. I mean, I'm not used to loud. I'm used to quiet. So it was good, but it was also painful because I thought, I want a family too. I want a little bit of that chaos in my life. That would be nice. I know I will eventually, and I just visualize it and still think that it's definitely possible for me. But it was challenging. It was very difficult because you just you're used to one thing happening one time of the year, and then all of a sudden it's gone, and you feel like the rug's been pulled out from underneath you, and you don't know really how to act or how to acclimate, and you're just it's bewildering. It's really it's flabbergasting. It's addlepating. There's so many different adjectives that it's just a mixture of all these different emotions, and it's discord. But I overcame it, and I apologized. I said, I hope that I wasn't too much of a letdown and too depressed, because I only cried a few times, and I didn't want to be around other people because I was so sad. My heart hurt so much just missing my mom and dad. And I try not to think too much about it, but it's hard. I mean, it's challenging not to do that if you're an orphan, because the holidays are all about family, and they shove it in your face. I mean, it's like family, 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 and I'm like, shut up! I want that. I want it really bad, but and then it's almost like it's condemning those who don't, but we're not a disease. We're not some kind of scourge. We are all there are more of us than there are actual people who are in relationships and etc. And we are the people that are the most careful, I think. I think we are the ones who are trying to do things right and for the right reasons. That might be a little bit too much to say, because I can't say all of us are that way. Most of us are, I should say, because I can't make a fallacy based on that, based on what little I know. But anyways, it was a good holiday, even though that had that kind of little bit of acrid aftertaste. It's Boxing Day, so I'm celebrating that. I don't really know what else to say. I'm gonna just welcome my dog home tomorrow. I'm taking it easy today because I came home and I thought it was gonna be 3 o'clock when I returned. It wasn't. It was 5 because there was a crash. Actually, there were a couple crashes because there was snow on the road, and people don't know how to drive on black ice in Indiana, apparently. You'd think after all these years they would be able to, but it's just, since it hadn't snowed for so long, I'm thinking people didn't know what to do with it. They were unaccustomed to just kind of trying to adjust their driving ability to be more practical and pragmatic rather than driving like they're Evel Knievel. Look, I'm Tony Kanaan. Yeah, no, you're not. You are not Mario Andretti. You're not Tony Kanaan. You're not Sarah Fisher. Stop it. But it was a good year. It was a lot better than last year. I am optimistic for next year. I will not give up. I know that anything and everything is possible, and hopefully I will be able to put myself into new ventures that will give me more flexibility and just the opportunity to actually meet people my own age rather than people who are already married and homie don't swing. Yeah, it's just not my cup of tea. Anyways, if you like Amy, then read this book. It gives a lot of her background with Tina and how she was inspired by Carol Burnett and Lucille Ball, and I mean the greats, the absolute bismuth of comedians. I grew up with that too. A lot of people told me, "Oh yes, you could definitely be a comedian." First of all, I don't like crowds. Second of all, stage fright. Hello. Thirdly, if you haven't noticed, I'm a sensitive individual and I'm a delicate flower. So it's just, I guess I could just handle those people, those haters, because they're so idiotic and they're just miserable people who want to make other people miserable. And you know what? They need a hug. They need a hug. They need a cookie, warm milk, and just a little bit of understanding and knowing that maybe you don't know what circumstance they're coming from, and they just need a little bit of extra care sometimes, as they could have been hurt. You don't know. We all have bad days, but that's about all I have to say for now. I will hopefully be able to see The Greatest Showman soon, because I've seen I've seen all the trailers, and I've been ogling it for forever now, and it looks like it has one of the best casts I've ever seen. I'm not familiar with the musical. I know what it's about, but I'm not really familiar with any other aspect of it, and I'm super excited to see it. I always would go see a musical for the it's kind of like a tradition to see a musical for the holiday, I think, for me. But that's all I have to say. So until next time, live on, prosper. Ciao, Tootsie.